what's going on, man? Let me get a couple things situated here and we will jump into this live stream. We're just gonna go over some news and we're gonna do a draft. Nothing too fancy today. Alrighty, here, we're gonna go over some news today and then jump into a draft, and then I'll answer any questions you guys got. There's not really a whole lot going on so far this week. Hard Knocks new episode was a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys watched it. It was pretty good. And the new episode this coming Tuesday should be also pretty good as well, because that might be, I mean, we're not going to see really any Dalvin Cook because he's not practicing, but there's going to be, you know, the news of it and everything else. And so it'll be, you know, I can't wait for the new episode of Hard Knocks coming in like a few days here. So coming next Tuesday. So let me just change this real quick so I can see your guys' questions. It's the only thing I kind of really don't like about YouTube is that I have to change this crap. I should be able to dock this. I don't know why it won't let me dock that. It's kind of weird. Alrighty. Let me see. Make sure this works. Yep. So I see you, man. I see your comment. What's going on, man? Alright, so let's just jump into... I don't have all of the news printings done, but I have most of the important ones on here. So kicking things off with Treylon Burks. He's going to miss a few weeks with the LCL sprain. That's the lateral collateral ligament. I believe that's the outside of the knee. So he's got an LCL sprain. According to Ian Rappaport, NFL Network, Treylon Burks suffered an LCL sprain in practice. She should keep him out a few weeks for recovery. This is good news, I guess, for Hopkins in a sense. Hopkins probably gonna see a little bit more work, at least in practice. You know, you're gonna see a few more targets coming his way. I don't, you know, they're expecting him to be probably ready for week 1, I'm assuming, but we don't know that, you know. This is probably a little more major than some of the other injuries that are around the league that we will get to. Yeah, St. Brown's very minor, as an ankle, same as last year. I do worry about ankles. Look, I've had an ankle sprain. I've sprained my left ankle a million times, so we'll get to St. Brown. But if it's a low ankle sprain, I'm not really worried about it, because I've had a million ankle sprains, and the only one that I've had that's like really been bad over the years are like high ankle sprains, where those can take like weeks to get over. So, but with Burks, is he ready to go before the you know, before week 1? I'm not sure, but if he's not, this could give a pretty significant boost, I think, to Hopkins to a degree. I mean, it's not going to be a ton, but I mean, Hopkins is going to see probably a majority of the work. They are kind of a run first offense, you know, the Tennessee Titans. But if Burks is missing, you can expect Hopkins to probably get his 10 to 12 targets per game if he misses a few weeks. You know, they're saying it's going to be a few weeks. He's probably going to be ready for season opener September 10th, but you never know. This thing can linger. You know, a knee injury for a receiver or even a running back, obviously, where they're going in and out of their cuts, or a running back who's cutting, you know, while they're running the ball. You know, it's a bigger issue than an ankle, in my opinion. So, or even like a hamstring or something. So this is just something to monitor. I mean, I'm not super high on Hopkins. He is about a 5th rounder. Sometimes he'll go in like the 4th round, but at the same time, I would just monitor this because, you know, maybe Hopkins ends up being a good wide receiver number 2, at least in the early parts of the year, if say Burks misses a few weeks. So something to monitor. All right, Jameson Williams is next. This is just kind of concerning news, man. So he's got a hamstring, likely out for the preseason, so he's not going to probably play the next, the last 2 games. Plus, he's going to miss the first 6 weeks because of a suspension for the gambling stuff. I would say, I mean, he's got more time. Obviously, let's say the hamstring lingers into the season. He's obviously got 6 weeks to recover because of the suspension. But this guy needs the preseason reps. I don't know if you guys watched that game or not against the against the Giants last week. I mean, he caught a few balls, but this guy needs game reps, man, like bad. You can tell you can just tell that he doesn't look quite as good as Olave, London, and Garrett Wilson. And I'll remind you guys, those are the 3 guys he was drafted right around. I think he was the last one drafted of all all 4 of them, but he was drafted in the first round right after those guys. And so this guy is lacking behind his peers, and he needs these reps in the preseason. And I'm fading this guy. Exactly. J-Mo's a full fade. I'm fading this guy too. I think this guy's the bust. I think he is the bust out of all the receivers drafted in round 1 2 years ago. I'm not liking the way that his career is trending and it's starting out. You got the hamstring issue. He missed time last year because of the ACL, right? That he suffered in college. I know this guy won the Heisman, but this guy, I just don't know, man. It's so weird. It's so weird that he's getting off to a rough start, and then the gambling stuff on top of it, dude. You got a hamstring issue. I'm not as worried about hamstring issues as I am like knee injuries, but this guy's a guy who he's a burner, okay? He's a guy who beats you over the top like a Tyreek Hill, like one of those types of players. So a hamstring issue early on in his career for a guy who runs really fast is not a good sign. And they're keeping him out of the preseason. It's going to, like I said, he needs these preseason reps. There's a reason why they played him a ton in the previous game, because the guy hasn't been on the field hardly. I mean, this is year 2, and he's been, it's funny because Tony is right underneath of him here in the here, I'll show you guys, because I'm showing you guys my cutouts, but if I show you guys what I'm looking at, it's like Tony's right here still dealing with. It's funny how these 2 guys are right next to each other, because it kind of, I don't know, with the injury stuff and being off the field, they kind of remind me of each other. I didn't really cut out Tony. Yeah, Tony's still dealing with knee injury. I'm avoiding that guy too. I'll pass, man. I'll take my chances with Sky Moore at that point. So, but back to J-Mo, dude. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm off of this guy because I'm going to let somebody, you know what I mean? I'm not drafting this guy in round 9 or whatever it is, where, it's basically when he goes round 9, I'm not drafting him. Fellow like 11 or 12, I might take my, a shot if he's like my 5th receiver, but in a managed league, I'm not taking him. In best ball, I'm not taking him unless he's like round 11 or 12, which he's not falling there. So I'll let somebody else take their chances with this guy. I'm out, dude. He's going to miss the first 6 weeks. He's got this hamstring already. He's got no rapport probably with the first team offense at all. And he didn't really look he didn't look very good against the Giants. So, in the first preseason game, and he needs these, he probably needs the rest of the preseason at least to kind of get going. And now he's going to miss both games probably. So, you factor that in with being out the first 6 games because of suspension. I'm out, dude. Maybe next year. All right, Michael Pittman. Where's Michael Pittman at? Tweaks ankle at practice. So he tweaked his ankle during practice and had it taped up, according to James Boyd on Twitter. It says the report mentioned nothing about Pittman missing the rest of practice, so the taping was likely precautionary as he just suffered a minor stinger. However, it's worth monitoring if the ankle flares up again. I wouldn't be too worried. Like I said, if this is like a low tweak of the ankle, anybody who's had an ankle, a rolled ankle, tweaked ankle, like you guys would probably be able to understand this a little better. Like I said, I've rolled my left ankle a million times. I've only rolled my right ankle like probably once or twice, but like I've rolled my left one so much that like it's prone to like rolling if I like miss a step or something, or if I step on somebody's foot or something like that. If it's a low ankle sprain, I'm not worried about it, dude. Like I can roll my ankle today, and if it's nothing bad, like it'll be like nothing happened. Like it won't even bother me. So the high ankle sprains are the ones you guys got to look out for. If it's a tweak or a low ankle, I wouldn't worry about it, man. They're gonna take a few days off, probably take it easy at practice, but they'll be ready to go. Especially this early. We still have like 3 weeks or so. Yeah, we got about 3 weeks or so before opening night, so I wouldn't worry about it. Would not worry about this whatsoever, but it is something to monitor, I guess, something to talk about. Roschon Johnson continues to see work with the ones in practice. According to Courtney Cronin of ESPN, rookie running back Roschon Johnson has continued to see work with the Bears first team in practice, impressing as a pass blocker. I wouldn't really look too much into this. Okay, I love Herbert. I think it's good that we've seen Herbert get pretty much all of the work with the first team in that first preseason game against the Titans. Roschon did get a lot of work, for the most part in the second half. They're talking about him impressing as a pass blocker. This is what's going to make Roschon the number 2 on this team, okay? If you're looking to cuff Herbert to either Foreman or Roschon, I would go out on a limb and tell you guys to take Roschon. It's going to be Roschon who's the number 2 eventually, barring any kind of like injury or something. But Herbert, I think, it says right here, the first week of preseason, running back Khalil Herbert was the exclusive back to operate with the first team. Though they didn't play many snaps as a result of the pair of long touchdowns, Johnson didn't play until later in the game. And Roschon did get like quite a few touches in that game, at least towards the, pretty much in the second half. But I think without a doubt, Herbert is the running back number 1, which is a good sign. I think Herbert really is a good running back. He just had David Montgomery always in his way for the most part over the course of the last 2 years. And so I think like Herbert's numbers are very, very eye-popping. He's a very good yards created per touch type of player. He's got a lot of juice in him. This is only his 3rd year in the league. So I do like Herbert as a late snag if you need like a 4th running back or something like that on your team, or even a 3rd running back potentially. So, but if you're looking to handcuff Herbert, Johnson is clearly the guy in my opinion. He was a very good back who was also held back because of Bijan being on the same team as him at Texas. So if Roschon would have been at another school that didn't, where Bijan was not, he could have easily probably been a first string running back in college. But he was a very good running back whenever he did, come in for Bijan at Texas as well. So, and yeah, he's a very good pass blocker. He's a 220-pound guy. He's your ideal size running back. He can do it all. He can block, he can catch out of the backfield, and he can run between the tackles. So Roschon is going to be the number 2 if you're looking to handcuff him to Herbert. I would choose him before I choose before I were to choose Foreman. So let's go on here. CJ Stroud named starter for the 2nd preseason contest. I don't really go over like preseason news. I don't looks like we got some more news here on Dalvin Cook. I will go over the Dalvin Cook news here in a second. This is interesting that this just popped up. I've already heard people talking about this, about Cook, so we'll get to Cook here last, okay? Stroud named starter for a second preseason contest. He didn't look very good, obviously, against the Patriots. The Patriots defense, man, it's good every single year. Even some of their backups, it's crazy. I don't really put too much into Stroud's preseason, his first preseason game. I wouldn't look too much into it. I know he only threw 4 passes. The guy was, he had pressure on him within a second every time they hiked the ball. There was a couple of passes he probably needed to get rid of a little earlier, but their offensive line was getting dominated by like the second string defensive line. It was crazy. 900 distribution. You're asking me what's the best draft strategy? 10-team PPR redraft, 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex, and a tight end. What is that? Is that like an ESPN league? What is the best strategy? It sounds like an ESPN league, right? Or a Yahoo league. Well, it's obviously the wait on quarterback in like round 3 or 4. If you can get your hands on like Mahomes or Hurts or Allen, and then you can, I think if it's only a 10 team, I wouldn't start out 2 wide receivers. You said it's ESPN, okay. Yeah, if it's only 10 team, I wouldn't start out 2 wide receivers. I would say go 2 wide receivers in a 12-man league, but not in a 10-man. I would probably go wide receiver and a running back, or running back receiver the first round. If it's full PPR, yeah, it's full PPR. I would look for Barkley. I mean, it just depends on where you're drafting. I don't know. Are you drafting towards the end or the beginning? If you're drafting in the beginning, you obviously go with like Jefferson or Chase or Tyreek Hill, and then in the second round you can try to get somebody like St. Brown, Devontae Smith. You could maybe go Adams. I don't really love Adams too much. Adams will probably be there at the end of the second usually. But if you need running back, obviously you would hope that Barkley's there. You would hope that Pollard's there. Like Pollard would be, like, let's say I was drafting in the beginning of the first round. I want Hill, Chase, or Jefferson, depending on where I'm picking. And then I want probably Pollard or Barkley in the second round. Barkley's starting to trend upwards though towards the beginning of the second round, so he may not be there. So Pollard would be, he's probably the best pass catching running back that's out there in round 2. Chubb's only caught about 23 balls on average per year since he's been in the league, so he's not really, he's more of a between the tackles kind of guy. So in a full PPR league, I do like Pollard slightly better than Chubb. It's close though. And then, I mean, obviously Barkley's up there as well. I mean, Barkley, I would probably take Barkley before I took both of those guys, but he's more likely going to be gone. If you're drafting in the back, it's kind of vice versa. You try to get a Bijan, you try to get, you maybe go receiver and then go early, or like a running back in the second round. So Barkley could be your second rounder, and then you could take like Diggs or CeeDee Lamb or Garrett Wilson or St. Brown or one of those guys, at receiver in the first round. And then third round, you're usually looking for a quarterback if one of the top 3 quarterbacks fall to you. So that's kind of how I would do that. I would not go tight end. I would not take Kelsey in the first round. If you could get Kelsey in round 2, I would be all for it. But this year in the first round, I'm just not a fan. So going back to the CJ Stroud news, man, I would pump the brakes on like being down on him. Okay, I think he's going to play more this second preseason game. He like I said, he went 2 for 4. He threw an early interception, it says here, which obviously, if you watch the game, you know that. Davis Mills did look pretty good, but CJ Stroud's going to play more series this game, I would think. They're going to keep him on the field for at least the whole first quarter, if not even into the second quarter, I would think. They need to see more of him, I think, especially of how well Davis Mills played. But the offensive line, man, they gotta give this guy some time to throw. I mean, there was a couple of plays where it's like the white guy was like in the backfield immediately. It was crazy, just blowing the play up. And so let's see how he looks this week, and then we'll come back to judging how good or bad we think he'll be. I think Stroud's going to be okay this year, but the offensive line's got a block for him too. All right, Kenneth Walker. Still not taking part in team drills. This is a little bit concerning, man. I am a Kenneth Walker owner. I have him in a keeper league. I probably plan on keeping him. My keepers lock in like next Wednesday, so here in like 5 or 6 days. So I still got some time to think about it, but since he's been in and out of practice for the last 2 weeks, hasn't sniffed team drills yet. He's still rehabbing from the groin injury suffered back in late July. It's tough to tell, man, with some of these reports. We just don't know. I feel like he's fine. They're just taking him they're taking everything slow right now with him. They're not rushing him back. I don't think it's something that's lingering as far as like the groin. I think they're being cautious with him, kind of like the Jets are being cautious with Breece Hall. That's what I think it is. I don't think it's I don't think it's that really. I think it's a bigger deal than what we really know. But the reporting, man, it's just so bad right now. You know what I mean? They don't give us enough details in a lot of these reports to really dissect everything and know exactly what's going on. But I think they're slow playing him, and I think he's going to be ready for week 1. So hopefully we get more news on this. If we do, I will bring it to you guys. But I wouldn't freak out over this. I'm a Kenneth Walker owner. I'm not really, I'm not freaking out about it, but at the same time, I want some more news about it too. I want some more clarity on really what's going on, but I think they're just being cautious with him. So we'll just leave it at that. Deshaun Watson. Oh my God, we just got another piece of news on Joe Mixon. Holy crap, the news is just dropping. The news is just dropping one after the other right now. We will get to the new news that is coming up. Okay, so Deshaun Watson has a completely unimpressive passing game in camp. Deshaun Watson, who is expecting a bounce-back season, has been anything but impressive up until this point in time. He didn't look very good in the preseason game. Really, they've already had 2 preseason games. He hasn't really impressed me too much. I know he hasn't played a ton. He didn't look very impressive the last 5 games of the season or 6 games of the season last year. And then you got this report today. This was this morning. Has a quote completely unimpressive passing game in camp today in practice. So I don't know what's going on with this guy, dude. I don't have a ton of him. I don't really know how much I have of him. I don't have a ton of him. I can tell you guys that, right? I have let me look at my exposure. So out of my 149 teams, at least, I technically I got around 200, but this is like for the 2023 NFL season category on Underdog. Let's see how much I got of him. I have 5 shares of him out of 150 teams. I don't have a ton of him. I've never really been super high on Deshaun Watson, but it just doesn't. I don't know. It seems like he's not putting the pieces together. Danny Dimes greater than Deshaun. I think so. I think you might be right about this, bro. I think you might be right. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going. I would have thought he would have made a pretty significant leap from the end of last year through having a whole off season with this organization, and it's like he hasn't looked good in the preseason. He's not looking good, obviously, today. I don't know. I might be avoiding this guy for the most part. I mean, I am avoiding him for the most part already, but I mean, I got Trevor Lawrence in my keeper league, and I have, in the other 2 redraft leagues that I'm going to do, I'm you know, we're not even gonna even think about drafting him probably. So if I'm a Deshaun Watson owner, dude, I am trying to trade him or something. I'm trying to get anything I can for him, I think, at this point. I don't know. Either that or you better have another backup plan. You better draft another QB if you have him in like a keeper league or, I don't know, a dynasty league or something like that. I would make sure I'm drafting another quarterback or trading maybe to go get another one. I don't know. So you probably should have traded this guy already if you had him like in dynasty for the last 2 years. You probably should have traded him already. So St. Brown, let's go to St. Brown. So St. Brown, ankle to return next week. This is a minor tweak, man. So it says he's expected to return to the field between Monday and Friday of next week. So I wouldn't look too much into this. This kind of sucks that he's got like a little minor ankle injury, but at the same time, it's just an ankle. I think he's had a couple of ankle injuries in the past, so it kind of, you know, it kind of makes you worry a little bit if you're an owner of him. I love St. Brown this year. I think he's going to have a pretty good year, obviously, if he can stay injury free. That is kind of St. Brown's Achilles heel about drafting him and about owning him, is that he's a smaller receiver and he's had some injuries. He's a little bit prone to like some of these minor injuries, like concussions, the ankle. You know, he's had a few games where he missed last year because of the concussion and the ankle and stuff. And so, but it says he's poised for a big year in his third NFL season after putting up almost 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns last year. He is poised for a huge year, for a bunch of volume, especially with Jameson Williams missing 6 weeks. And you know what? It may not even matter because Jameson Williams, we've already went over him. He kind of looks like a bust, to be honest. And I hate to say that this early about somebody like Jameson Williams, but man, he is so far behind his peers. He's so far behind Olave, Garrett Wilson, and London. It's not even funny. And so in that regard, I would say Jameson Williams right now is looking like a bust. And this guy is the receiving offense for this team. There's not much competition at the receiving room. You have Marvin Jones Jr., who's back, who's 33 years old. He's probably got one or two more years left in the league. You're no longer targeting him in the first, though. Yeah, I would pump the brakes on that a little bit as well, but at the same time, he's going to be back at practice next week, dude. We still have 3 weeks until the season opener, and so people like, if people don't want to draft this guy in the first round or even towards the beginning of the second round anymore, take advantage of that. If he falls to like 16, 17, 18, if he falls to the middle of round 2 or even the end of round 2 for some odd reason because of this, draft him every single time. Take advantage of that because you're not going to see that next week when he comes back to practice. So people maybe overreact to this. I doubt it. The people who are smart like me are not going to overreact. I'm not going to let this guy fall to the end of round 2. But you know, like I said, we got 3 weeks. We got 3 weeks until the season opener starts. He's going to be there. They're gonna caution him all the way into next week, maybe even after that if they have to, but he's gonna be ready for week 1. All right, Taylor excused from team for a personal matter the other day. This was actually yesterday. This guy, dude, I swear, it's like everything that could go wrong, it seems like. And you know, this may just be a personal matter, like it says it is. It probably is just a personal matter, but who knows, man? This guy, I'm completely off Taylor, guys. I'm completely off. I was never on him in the beginning. I showed you guys that I was never on him. I have like 4 shares of him. I don't care if this guy drops to the end of the 3rd round. I'm not drafting him. I'm just not, dude. I'm gonna let somebody else take the chance on this guy. I'm not taking this risk. He is clearly unhappy with this organization. He's not going to get paid. Even if he has a big year this year, they're not going to pay him. They're going to franchise tag him if he has a big year this year. I think we talk about guys who could maybe get hurt, you know, and then they could like play it off, you know what I mean? They could maybe sit out a few more weeks than what they really would normally do. I think there's a good chance of this happening with somebody like Jonathan Taylor. If he, you know, injures an ankle or something, or if he tweaks his ankle again, say week 2 or week 3, you may not see this guy play until like week 7 or something like that. He may take a couple extra weeks off and just kind of, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. Yeah, Taylor full fade. I wouldn't take him in the 5th. Yeah, in the 5th you might have to have another conversation, but like where he goes, like in the middle of the 3rd or kind of the beginning of the 3rd. I actually seen somebody take him in the 2nd round the other day. Like in the middle of the 2nd, which I would definitely not do. But you know, maybe the beginning of 5th we could have a conversation. I don't know. This guy, dude, so much stuff is going on. He hasn't been in training camp. He's gonna be prone to injury because he hasn't been training camp. Just like Josh Jacobs, he's gonna be prone to injury. Josh Jacobs even more so, because Josh Jacobs had almost 400 touches last year, and now, like, I don't care what these guys are doing on their own, dude. I don't care if they're flipping tires out in the field, you know, if they're, you know, pulling tractors with their teeth and stuff like that, dude. I don't care what these guys are doing on their own. If they don't have, I'm telling you right now, when we go back and look at guys who have missed training camp or you know, had stuff going on during training camp, and they weren't their full selves, and they weren't, you know, fully invested into like the preseason, the training camp and stuff like that. You look at Debo last year, he had the contract negotiation stuff going on, and he said it was a huge part of why he probably had a bad year last year, because he wasn't fully invested into the training camp. He wasn't, you know, he was distracted by the contract negotiation. That was just contract negotiation stuff. And plus, you probably take into consideration the year before that, where he was a really, you know, he had a lot of workage at the running back position and everything else. I'm telling you guys right now, don't go out and get Taylor, bro. And even if Taylor did get traded, one, we don't know what team he's going to go to until it's probably too late. You know what I mean? And two, you know, he's just going to be behind the other running backs on those rosters who know the playbook, who have rapport with the offensive line and rapport with the offensive system in general. I'm just avoiding this guy, dude, especially at his ADP. It's not even, I don't even have to think about it. Who's the Colts running back to target? If I was targeting a running back for the Colts, it would be, so they signed Kenyon Drake, right? You know, I don't know. I'm kind of avoiding this run. I would be avoiding this running back room in general, because you got Richardson, who's already named the starter. They named him the starter week 1 of opening week yesterday. He's probably going to use his legs a little more than what, you know, I don't know how much he used his legs in that preseason game against Buffalo. I didn't really watch that game. I don't think he used his legs too much. I don't think he played a whole lot, but he's going to use his legs. Okay. If I had to give you guys one, it would be Jackson. It would be Deion Jackson. I mean, I know they signed Drake, but I don't think Drake hasn't really been in the system long enough. I don't know if he's ahead of Deion Jackson on the depth chart or not, but it would be Deion Jackson, because you got Moss. Moss has the injury right now. He's going to be out a few weeks. So I'm not, you know, I think Deion Jackson is probably the best back in that backfield after Taylor. Like, he's probably the second best guy. So it would be Deion Jackson, but at the same time, I'm kind of telling you guys I would be avoiding that backfield. So Deion Jackson is the third stringer behind Zach Moss. Zach Moss is out with the injury. So I think Taylor's going to be the guy who is the starter, though. Don't get me wrong. Like, Taylor will be the starter. He will come back and play. He's not going to sit out. He can't afford to. But at the same time, if he gets injured, if he has like an ankle injury or a minor injury or something, how long does he sit out with that injury because he's upset with the team? Who knows? All right, so we have new news. We're pretty much done with all the cutouts that I had. Where did this go? Here it is. Okay, so let's go to let me go to my full screen here. So Josh Allen start preseason game against the Saints. Nobody cares. He's not going to play that much. It doesn't matter. Javonte Williams to get 3 to 4 carries in Denver's second preseason game. This is obviously on Saturday. Blah, blah, blah. Towards ACL week 4 last year. We know that. So he's going to get 3 to 4 carries. So that's I was hoping he would get like 5 to 6. Maybe he'll get some passing game work too. We'll see. I think Perine's kind of going to take the lion's shares of the passing game for this offense. So 3 to 4 carries in the second preseason game. This is going to be Saturday. I don't know who they play. I'd have to look real quick. Looks like they play the Niners at San Francisco. So we'll see if the Niners play some of their first stringers. I don't know, man. We'll see how he looks on the. I mean, I wouldn't take too much into this if he looks bad or if he looks good. It's only 3 or 4 carries, so it's not going to be anything significant. But I guess it is something that's intriguing to see how he looks. You know what I mean? With all the hype around him, like he's looking better than Adrian Peterson back when Adrian Peterson tore his ACL, right, and then ran for 2,000 yards the next year. That's what it feels like. Like it feels like the hype is that big for Javonte. I still think I don't think he's quite ready, but I guess they're saying he is. And on top of it, he's going to share a ton of work with Perine. Perine is one of the highest paid backup running backs in the NFL this year. He's going to get 45 to 50% of the touches, I think, out of that backfield. Mahomes and other starters start preseason game. Nobody cares. They're not going to play too much. I'm sure they'll be okay if he doesn't play anyways, but Dalvin Cook, Salah, unconcerned over potential suspension. So he's not concerned over the potential suspension. So he said Thursday that he has heard nothing from the league in regard to the potential suspension. Head coach Robert Saleh said Wednesday that he's not concerned about it. So this is about this like domestic violence case from a couple of years ago, and I've actually, if you guys watch Microphone on YouTube, his name's Microphone. He's he's done a story over this. He's done like a 10 to 12 minute video over this. He actually does really, really good videos. I encourage you guys to go check him out on YouTube. From what I guess you got like statements from both parties from Dalvin Cook. I guess he was dating like some, it's funny too, because I was in the military. I guess he was dating some like sergeant, some army sergeant chick or something. I don't know what she was, what branch she was in, but she was like a sergeant or something. And she was like beating him, dude, is what it sounds like. I don't know the full details. I only, from what I've watched and heard from Microphone's video and stuff, it sounds like Cook may have been the victim in this situation, and so I wouldn't expect a suspension out of what was going on back in that regard either. I think I'm pretty sure Cook claims that he was the victim, and from the story, from what I've heard, from because the guy laid out both statements of Cook's side and the woman's side. It sounded like she was like beating on, I don't know. It sounds like she was beating on him, dude, which is crazy. But yeah, we'll have to monitor this, but I don't see him really. I don't know. If the coach isn't concerned, and I'm sure the coach has more details than all of us about this, because obviously he would, because it affects his player. If he's not concerned, I wouldn't be concerned about it either. Kendre Miller back at practice on Thursday. I feel like they should be taking it easy with this guy. I guess he came up with a little bit of an injury on the same knee. Miller was dealing with a knee sprain and a surgically repaired right knee. And that was kind of what he had injured in that preseason game against my Chiefs on Sunday. So it's like, I guess he's good to go. He's back at practice today. I would still, like I said, I'm getting Kamara and I'm getting Jamal Williams if I take 2 running backs from this running back room. Miller, I think Miller's going to be a good running back, potentially a good running back one day, but he's going to have to wait a year. It's going to be a year. This year's not his year. Joe Mixon found not guilty on aggravated menacing. This is good news. So, found not guilty on aggravated menacing from a road rage incident in January. Remember, that was like the day before the postseason game, the playoff game against the Bills. He had allegedly threatening a woman in a road rage incident with a gun or something. So, he's found not guilty, so we're going to say he's not guilty. Obviously, my guess is his lawyers did their part. Let's just put it that way. I'll tell you guys, man, I was super low on Mixon. I didn't really like him back in April, back in May, back in June, because I knew of this stuff. I knew about this right here. And I think he has kind of lost a step here and there. I don't think it's, he's not as bad as Zeke, okay? Zeke, the wheels have completely fallen off, okay? So he's not that bad to where he's lost a step in that regard, but he has lost, I think, a little bit of juice. The problem is, though, is now he's cleared of this. They didn't go out and get any running backs off the market. I think Chase Brown is a good back to have in a deeper league, but at the same time, Mixon is gonna get all of the work, man. And now that he's cleared of this, we don't have to worry about a suspension or anything like that. I didn't think he was going to get suspended anyways. We look at Kamara. We look at Kamara last year. We thought he was going to get suspended last year, and he did not. And now it's coming down this year, and it's only 3 games. And so I thought even if this lingered on, I didn't think Mixon was going to miss any time anyways. And so I'm not gonna lie, I've moved Mixon a ton up my running back rankings, and I think he's a guy you can go target because he's gonna see the bulk of the, he's one of the few backfields that's on a good offense where he completely has the lion's share, the bell cow workage of his on his team, and his team is a very competitive team that's gonna compete in the playoffs this year more than likely. And so I'm looking here at his efficiency numbers. His true yards per carry was 61st. It was not very good. The yards per touch was 35th, 4.7. So not the greatest. Could have been worse though. Remember, Zeke's was 50, is 54th or whatever in this category. Yards per touch, or yards created per touch. So yards created per touch 2.33. That's 43rd. I think Zeke was 54th in that category. So it's not quite as bad. They did add some pieces on the offensive line. They got, the guy from Kansas City. So maybe, of course, he's more of a guy that they have on the blind side for Burrow for pass blocking. But the breakaway run rate wasn't very good either, 2.8%. That's 47th in the league last year. The numbers were down efficiency-wise for Mixon last year, but he's going to get the lion's share. He's going to get the lion's share of all of the work. And he's got no competition in the backfield really other than Chase Brown. Chase Brown's a rookie 6th-round pick out of Illinois. And so I would say this is good for Mixon, man. This is good if you're a Mixon owner. And I would encourage you guys to go get this guy. If you the people that were getting this guy in round 6, round 5 back in May, they have to be happy, man. They have to be happy because they got the discount on them whenever there was a discount. So, all right, let's draft, man. Let's draft. See, I can show you guys here real quick. Like I said, this is how many shares of Deshaun Watson I got out of these 149 teams. I'm not super high on Deshaun Watson, bro. I was never high on this guy to begin with. I've 3.4% of them. mean, I have more Desmond Ridder and Jared Goff of Watson, bro. That just tells you guys how low I'm on him. I have more of Brock Purdy and Tua than I have of him, bro. So let's jump into a puppy three. These puppy threes are filling up. If you guys cannot see right here, they're filling up. It's already about halfway gone. If you guys see the green line right here. So, and this is 223,000 entries. So these things are filling up. If you want to get in on these contests, this is a best ball contest. You don't have to set your lineup every single week. Every single week they set it for you. 200,000 the first place, bro. 200,000. That's a ton of money. You can have 150 entries max. See, it's 47.5% fill. It's almost halfway. You draft 18 rounds. You try to get the best lineup you can, and then what you play the guys that you draft with weeks 1 to 14, and then from that point on, week 15, week 16, and week 17 are the 3 elimination weeks. And obviously if you make it to week 17, there's a chance you can win that $200,000 first place cash prize. So let's go ahead and jump into one of these. I'm hoping I get kind of towards the back. I got the second overall pick yesterday when I did one offline, and then I got 2 first overall picks back-to-back drafts whenever I drafted with you guys last time. So hopefully we get something towards the back. I want to go double hero running back strategy. All right, we are in. Looks like we got the last pick, so I might just try to go double hero running back right here. I'm gonna move my camera over here so you guys can see my picks. I'm gonna pull the phone view up for you guys as well. I don't really see anybody in here that I know, so that's kind of a good thing, I guess. We got a couple of guys with an experience badge, which doesn't really matter, but it's worth noting, I guess. Here's the phone view. Let's move the phone view like put it like right here, I guess, for now. Probably gonna be done with the stream after this draft. I got some stuff to do. I gotta go to the gym here in a little bit. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna do, man, I don't know. Should I do, I kind of did legs yesterday. I did some legs and back yesterday. I think I can do chest today. I'm not really sore. Can maybe do some chest today. But the problem is I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight, and I've been running a lot, or I've been running a little bit, and I've been doing like Stairmaster stuff. The problem is I can't really run. I need to take like another week off of running because I have a horrible shin splint in my right leg. And it always flares up as soon as I start running, man. And I usually run about like a mile, like about a mile and a half to about 2 miles usually whenever I run, you know. And so I don't think it helps that I'm running kind of a long distance as well. So I need to take like a week off of running. I think I'm just going to do Stairmaster for like 10-20 minutes probably today instead. The problem is, you know, the problem with like taking a week off from running though is that I feel like I lose I feel like I lose like my you know, a little bit of my endurance and stuff. I feel like I lose my timing on running. Like, you know, like I'll run really good, like the more and more I run each day, and then like if I take a week off, it's like I get a little slower, you know. I'm not running quite as fast and hitting my marks as, you know, like I was whenever I was running every single day. So, but my freaking leg has been killing me, dude, with my shin splint. All right, so this is pretty usual right here. The first 7 picks, nothing too crazy. Goes Travis Kelce. I think I'm gonna go double hero running back right here. So it would be really cool if Bijan fell to me. If not, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'll go Barkley Pollard if Bijan goes. Oh, there goes Barkley though. Never mind. Oh, and then there goes Bijan, bro. What is going on? All right, let's go. I'm taking Pollard. Do I take Chubb or do I take somebody else? I'm gonna go CD, bro. I don't want Chubb on this team. So I'm gonna take Pollard and I'm gonna take CeeDee Lamb. Dude, I was gonna go Barkley and like Pollard. That would have been, or Bijan and Pollard. That's crazy, dude. That this guy took Barkley that early. The next time I get like 10, 11, or 12, I'm gonna try it to go hero running back. That's unfortunate right there, dude. See, that's the thing. You gotta have multiple strategies. You gotta have backup plans, man, no matter what you're doing, no matter what, because there's always gonna be somebody in a draft that just throws you off. They do something weird. I wouldn't say this is weird to take Barkley here, but it's uncommon. You don't see it very often. He's like for sure a second round guy. So the fact that, you know what I mean? I could have said, hey, I'm going to come in here and try to get Mahomes in the first round, and somebody would have taken Mahomes like with the 9 for 10 pick. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. Devontae Smith, Waddle. See, this is good to get St. Brown at 16. This is good for this guy. You know, this is good value. The fact that this guy takes Taylor over all of these guys at receiver is, to me, it's ludicrous. I don't even understand it. Take the phone capture off. Yeah, somebody asked me what site this is to do this mock draft. This isn't a mock draft. I'm sure you guys who are watching, you guys know that. But somebody asked me, because I had a video where I did a draft. I did, you know, a Superflex draft on Underdog, and they're like, what site is that you did your mock draft on? I was like, it's not a mock draft, and you know, it's Underdog where you can do drafts for cash prizes. It's not, you don't mock draft on this site. So, all right, Mahomes is the first quarterback to come off here. Last pick of round 2. It's a good start. DK, JJ, Mahomes, not bad. Let's just say I'm glad I'm not drafting in the middle of round 3. I think the middle of round 3 it's tough to pick from the middle of round 3 right now with everything, all the players that are there and all the stuff that's going on right now. I think your best bet, if you're like, if I'm giving you guys true advice, Doesn't matter if you're in best ball. It doesn't matter if you're in an ESPN league. But if it is a 12-man league for the most part, or even a 10-man league in some cases, I'm trying to get these two guys right here in round 3. I'm trying to get Hurts and Allen, or Mahomes. I'm trying to get one of these quarterbacks in round 3 right now. I took Mark Andrews last time. I don't think that's a good... I don't know if I like taking him at the beginning of round 3. All the receivers are pretty much gone. You have DK, T. Higgins, and Cooper. I don't really like any of those 3 guys in round 3, to be honest. I just don't. I don't like Debo either in round 3. But then you got Stevenson, Gibbs, and like Najee, and Jacobs and Breece Hall to pick from in round 3 either. I don't like those picks either. So we have a decision to make. I'm probably gonna go... I don't know if I'm gonna go Breece Hall or not. I kind of want to. I don't want to let him slide to the end of round 4. I know that. Here goes Gibbs. Here goes Lamar Jackson. All right, this guy passed on Stevenson, so I'm gonna take the value with Stevenson right here, and I'm gonna go... Pollard's bye week is 7. I'm gonna take Justin Fields. I'm gonna go ahead and get a quarterback. I'm gonna go get Justin Fields. It's tough, man. Part of me wanted to go Mixon, part of me wanted to go Breece Hall, and part of me wanted to go Keenan Allen as well. It's tough. There's a lot of choices right there. There goes Keenan Allen. Like I said, I'm not worried about Zeke, man. I'm not worried about Zeke. Zeke is the guy I'm least worried about out of like between him and Cook, and wherever Kareem Hunt goes, wherever Leonard Fournette goes, and some of these other guys that have already signed. I'm least worried about Zeke, to be honest. I know some people might disagree. Zeke got paid $3 million with a $1 million signing bonus, and then the other $3 million are all like it's all money that he can earn via incentives. So Zeke only really got $3 million, and he got $1 million of it up front. So and then the other $3 million that he signed for the total of $6 million, the other $3 million is money that he can make in incentives, which I don't know which what the incentives really are, but I mean, I guess I can look it up here real quick. So you got a $600,000 signing bonus and a base salary of $1.55 million. Includes $850,000 in a pre-game roster bonus, $50K per game or $50K per game active, up to $3 million. So up to $3 million in possible incentives. I don't know what the incentives are, though, is the problem. It says he would have to have a monster season to get the full $6 million from his Patriots contract, according to Mike Florio. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Yards from scrimmage. $300,000 for 975 yards from scrimmage. $300,000 for 1,100 yards from scrimmage. $300,000 for 1,225 yards from scrimmage. $300,000 for 1,350 yards from scrimmage. $300,000 for 1,475 yards from scrimmage. So if he gets more than 1,475 yards from scrimmage, which is about 1,500 yards, he can get the full $1.5 million for that incentive. Offensive snaps, 300K for 50% of the snaps, 300K for 55, 300K for 60%, 300K for 65, 300K for 70%. So if he plays more than 70% of the snaps throughout the whole year, that's another 1.5 million. So that's the 3 million. Yeah, he's not getting all that. Let's just be brutally honest about it. He's not getting all that. This guy gets Breece Hall right here to go with Derrick Henry. Man, this is a good team right here, dude. This is good. This is why Breece Hall should not fall that far. This guy got Joe Mixon right here. Herbert, Burrow went. This is why I grabbed Fields. I was hoping that Herbert would fall to me, but he did not. All right, we are on the clock. We got Fields, we got Stevenson, Pollard, we got CeeDee Lamb. I'm gonna go ahead and take Pierce. This is kind of a no-brainer for me. Somebody take Deontay Johnson already? Wow, Deontay Johnson goes so early, it's crazy. I feel like I have no choice here, but you know, I'm gonna take Lockett. I'm gonna go ahead and take Tyler Lockett. I feel like I have no choice. We're gonna need a receiver to fall to us here. I would love if like Dotson was here for us, but it's highly unlikely. Ugh. Highly unlikely that he's there, but it would be nice. Back-to-back tight ends go. It's a little early for Waller. David, are you watching right now? You watching right now, David? You trying to steal my picks? Trying to see who I like to draft? Is that what you're doing? Scroll down a little bit so you guys can see. Trevor Lawrence is still on the board. My guess is this guy down here is going to get him, because actually all of these guys have, you might see this guy right here who drafted 6th overall. You might see him get Trevor Lawrence in round 7, which would be insane. He is the guy at the top of the list right now. Current ADP is 64.3. So if this guy was able to get Trevor Lawrence down here in round 7, that would be crazy. What players do I have here? Let me so I'm over here, I'm on the right side. I'm drafting in the 12 spot. So I have Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Ramondre Fields, Dameon Pierce, and Tyler Lockett. That's what I have right now. I'm over here on the right side. So it's it's okay. I was gonna go double hero. I was gonna take Barkley or Bijan and Pollard, but they both went right before me. So my double hero running back strategy was I didn't want to take Chubb. I could have taken Chubb, but I didn't want to. I wanted it to be Barkley or Bijan as my first running back, and then Pollard to be my second. So I just went with Pollard. So it's kind of unfortunate. Let me move your comment up here. This is kind of early for Javonte. I can't believe Javonte goes this early now. I would not take him over somebody like Akers or Montgomery. I would not do it. You guys are hearing me say that right now. I would not take Javonte over somebody like David Montgomery or Cam Akers, and this guy obviously did. Of course, he still got Montgomery too, but to me, that's crazy. There goes Dotson. So my hopes of getting him are pretty much gone. That sucks. Lawrence is still on the board. This guy's going to take Lawrence right here. He's got Christian Kirk. This should be Lawrence right here all day, every day. It is, because I'm a mind reader. If he didn't have Jacobs on it, I don't know. Jacobs could, who knows? Jacobs could come back and be good. This or that, I don't know. So this is not a bad start if Jacobs pans out for him, obviously, but this is kind of early for Cook. Pitts, that's a good pick right there. I think Pitts, I wasn't super high on him. I liked him a little bit. Of course, he was going like right here in the middle of round 6, kind of even the beginning of round 6 early on. Now you can get him towards the end of round 7. I think that's good value for somebody like Kyle Pitts. This sucks, man. Somebody took Kamara too. Yep. Gosh, dude. I hate drafting back here now. All the value that we used to get here at the end of round 7 from the 12 pick is gone. I'm gonna take Flowers, man. And I'm gonna take Sky Moore. I need a couple more receivers. I got 3 running backs. And I need a couple more receivers, having only CeeDee Lamb and Tyler Lockett, so I'm gonna go with those guys. Yeah, I wish I would have gotten. I wish I would have gotten like Barkley or Bijan right here. I would have went receiver right here. I would have taken like Christian Watson or Keenan Allen right here. So Dalvin Cook is still going in like round 8, man. It's kind of weird that somebody took Cook at the first pick of round 5 in that one draft I did, and then now he's like every other draft he's going in the middle of round 8 still. So thoughts on Brandin Cooks this year with the Cowboys? I think he'll be okay. I probably would have taken him if he would have fell. He obviously went 2 picks before I took Flowers. I think he'll be okay. At the end of the day, man, CeeDee Lamb is still the guy. And we'll see, man. I think there's going to be a couple of games that Cook has where it's like he's going to be very viable, especially in best ball. He's going to be a guy who he's going to have like spike weeks, you know what I mean? Kind of like Gabe Davis does for the Buffalo Bills every now and then, where he has a spike week. I think that's going to be Brandin Cooks this year. I think he's got a better chance of having a couple more than Gabe Davis does, though, because I think he's a better receiver. But at the same time, they both like somebody like Gabe. Like, here's the difference. Like, I would take Cooks over Gabe Davis, and this guy took Gabe Davis at 65. This guy got Cooks at 82, and I would take Cooks over Gabe Davis like all day, every day. I think they're kind of the same player. Brandin Cooks is just a better version of that player. They're both number 2s in their offense, to an elite wide receiver number 1, and Cooks is better than Gabe Davis. And they're both going to have spike weeks where they have a particular week here and there where it's like, oh my God, they went for 30 points maybe, you know. They caught a couple touchdowns and a couple of deep balls. But I think Cooks is just a better version of that kind of player. So, but I don't have a ton of Cooks. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't have a ton of Cooks, but I will say, if you could get him down here at the end of round 7, the beginning of round 8, it's not a bad pick if you need a receiver. And I think he's better than, I think he's going to be a little bit better than Pittman this year, and I think he's better than Mike Evans and better than Gabe Davis. And he could be close to somebody like Addison too. We'll see about Addison and Pickens. We'll see about those guys. He could be about as good as those guys. I wouldn't say he's too much better than them in fantasy, but he could be around the area, maybe slightly better or slightly not as good, but you're still getting, you're getting a discount on him. So I don't think he's bad where he's at, where his value is. So it's a little early for Geno Smith, but this guy needs a quarterback, and he's got JSN. So that's why he took Geno right there. Tony's still on the board. Go figure. Charbonnet, AJ Dillon, and J-Mo are on the board. So there goes Tony. I'm gonna move this right here so you guys can see it. I guess if you guys want me to blow this up, I can blow it up a little bit. I don't want to take up like all of the screen though. All right, Odell Beckham, Jameson Williams still at the very top here. There goes Nico Collins. Nobody wants anything to do with Jameson Williams, dude. Go figure. This is the receiver dead zone, guys. This is why I took Flowers and Sky Moore whenever I did. This is the receiver dead zone. I think Boyd's an okay pick, but I'm not gonna go with Tyler Boyd. I'm gonna take Freiermuth. I worry about Njoku. I like Njoku a lot, but I worry about him with how bad Deshaun is playing. And then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the safe pick. I think Charbonnet's an okay pick. I think the safer option though is P. Ryan, so I'm gonna go ahead and take P. Ryan. I need a little bit of help in my bye weeks here because I have Tony Pollard and Pierce on the same bye week, so I'm going to take P. Ryan right here. He's got bye week 9. And I think he's a little bit safer than Charbonnet. We know P. Ryan's going to get a lot of the receiving duties. Who will be better, Sky Moore or Brandon Cooks? I would say Cooks is a better receiver, okay? I'm not going to go out and say Sky Moore's not as good as Brandon Cooks, okay? Cooks is a really good receiver. He's been in the league a while. He's a little older, so the age factor is on Sky Moore's side. But in fantasy, in terms of fantasy, I would say Cooks is slightly better in fantasy this year than Sky Moore, but Sky Moore has the potential to be better, if that makes sense. Like, there's a bigger upside with somebody like Sky Moore because he's on probably a heavier passing offense, slightly heavier passing offense with the Chiefs. And if Tony continues to miss time, there's more upside with somebody like Sky Moore, if that makes any sense. Overall, I would say, I mean, if I was a gambling man, I would say Cooks probably has a little bit more fantasy points than Sky Moore, but it's close. I think it's close. And if, like I said, if Tony misses time, continues to miss time throughout the regular season, you know, like say he's ready to go week 1 like they're saying he is, but then say Tony re-injures his knee or something in week 1 or week 2 or week 3, and then he ends up missing another prolonged period, there's more upside with having somebody like Sky Moore versus Cooks. And so in that regard, I would say, hey, I want Sky Moore over Brandon Cooks in a fantasy football league because I want the guy with the higher ceiling, if that makes any sense. I want the guy with the higher ceiling, and in round 8 or 9, I'm willing to risk somebody who has a lower floor but a higher ceiling. I'm willing to risk and take on that risk whenever I'm spending an 8th or maybe a 9th round pick. He you know, Sky Moore may be a 9th rounder, you know, in a normal league that's a managed league, that's in your home league or something. Obviously in best ball you're not going to get him there, but of course Sky Moore used to go right here in round 11 like a month ago, so back in like June, definitely back in May. So Sky Moore's got he's got the higher upside, but Cooks, in terms of like receiving ability and getting open and stuff like Cooks is a better route runner. He's a better overall receiver. So it's close though, man. I don't think you can go wrong with either guy. In best ball though, I'm taking the guy with the higher upside, and that's Sky Moore. Especially if I have like a CeeDee Lamb, and let's say I had another big time receiver right here in round 3 or even round 1, I'm definitely taking Sky Moore over Brandon Cooks, but it's close. All right, let's see here. So J-Mo goes right here. Tyler Boyd. I just don't even understand this. Like, why would Williams go over somebody like Tyler Boyd, Zay Jones, and Juju? I would take all 3 of these guys over Jameson Williams. Tyler Boyd is a number 3 guy on an elite receiving, really just an elite team in general. Zay Jones, maybe the guy who's in 2-man sets out in Jacksonville, or at the very least, he's the number 3 guy on a pretty decent offense as well. I don't understand somebody like this guy taking Jameson Williams over these guys. To me, it just makes no sense. But this is good value. I think I got Tyler Boyd like right here with the number 122 pick whenever I was drafting 2nd overall yesterday. Sounds good. Yep. And so yeah, if you could get Tyler Boyd in round 11, I think that's crazy. I think he's fallen too far at that point. Khalil Herbert continues to rise. I was actually looking for Herbert. This guy went in round 9 this time. Wow. Herbert's really jumping the ADP rankings right now. If you got Herbert back here at the end of round 10, beginning of round 11, You are good to go. You're good to go. You got him whenever you were supposed to get him. Let's just put it that way. All right, so all the quarterbacks are coming off. Daniel Jones went, man. Goff, Dak. Dak's starting to kind of fall down everybody's ADP rankings, it seems like. He's been falling. Got Russ and Aaron Rodgers on the board still. Van Jefferson just went. This is where it gets dicey, man. I'm just going to start taking the best available players at this point, to be honest. I'm going to go... I'm going to go Warren, and I'm going to go Derek Carr. I'm going to take another running back just to get that fifth running back. And I need another quarterback. I'm taking Derek Carr over Rodgers and Russ right now. I think I really feel like Derek Carr is like the Geno / Jared Goff of last year, this year. I think he's a guy who could jump into the top 10 potentially in terms of quarterback play, or I should say the top 12, right? He could jump into the top 12, which is QB1 range. I think Jared Goff is that guy this year. We see how Jared Goff played last year. Geno obviously was top 5. He finished 5th overall. I don't know if Derek Carr could get quite that high, but I think he does kind of what Jared Goff did last year, where a lot of people didn't expect Jared Goff to play as well as he played last year and be as good in fantasy as he was. And I think that could be Derek Carr this year. I think they're probably going to win that division, and he's got a lot of weapons to throw it to. If Thomas stays healthy, you got Olave. You're only going to be missing Kamara for 3 games. Kamara's going to be pretty good, I think. He's got Jawan Johnson, Taysom Hill. He's got some, Jimmy Graham. They got a really decent tight end room and a lot of options at tight end as well. So, and then obviously A.T. Perry, the rookie, he looked pretty good. They still have Shaheed and Traquan Smith that are still out with injuries as well. So I think Carr is going to be kind of that Jared Goff of this year, if I had to guess. And so I don't mind him at all as a QB2. See, and I just don't really like the receivers in this range. I would have maybe taken Rondale Moore, who's actually still on the board. Maybe Rondale will fall to us here. That would be cool if he did. We probably need to go get another tight end here. I might try to get Jawan Johnson though. And I think I might take him early because I'm sick of people if I don't take him right here at 156 or 157, I will not see him at 180, even though his ADP is it's 174 now, so it's actually, it was in the 180s though, like a few days ago. I think we're doing all right in the running back room. Tony Pollard, Stevenson, Pierce, P. Ryan, and Warren. It's not bad. It's not terrible. Receiving room is kind of mediocre. It's not horrible. I think we're good at quarterback, and we're good. It's not bad. It's not bad for a pick 12 right now. You know what I mean? One of my leagues, I have Dak and Goff. Who would I start every week? Probably Dak. I would want a better quarterback, to be honest. I think both of those guys are number 2 quarterbacks as far as fantasy goes. I don't think they're inside the top 12. Dak's close, but I have him right outside the top 12 in my rankings. Let me see where I got Dak at my QB rankings. I would want another guy. Let's just put it this way. I have Dak I got Dak at like 14, so I have him right outside. I would rather have somebody like Geno. I would rather have Kirk Cousins. Obviously, I would rather have Fields or somebody better like. But if I had to start between the two, I would pick Dak. Yeah, I have Dak. I have Dak at 14 and I have Goff at 15, if it makes you feel any better. So try to go out and get somebody, man. That's all I can say. Try to go out, like try to go out and get Trevor Lawrence, bro. That's who I got on my keeper league. Go get Trevor Lawrence. If you're looking for somebody who's like outside the top 5 that could potentially jump into the top 5, that's knocking on the door, that's kind of hasn't really showed his full potential yet, and you know what I mean, it's Trevor Lawrence, bro. Trevor Lawrence going into year 3. I like Dak. I like him to a degree. He's got weapons. They're gonna throw the ball a little bit. I do worry about them losing Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. I think that's a huge blow to that's a huge blow to the way I think Dak is gonna play this year. We'll see. I don't like Mike McCarthy calling the plays. Let's see how much they throw the ball. Maybe they don't throw the ball as much. They'll probably throw the ball, I would say, a decent amount. I don't think it's going to be quite as much as it has been the last few years with Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. But at the same time, you know, missing an offensive coordinator like that is not good. It usually doesn't work out very well, especially when the quarterback was super productive with the offensive coordinator the last 4 years. It's not good that they lost him. And so the only time that Dak really had bad numbers whenever Kellen Moore was there was whenever he had the injuries, right? He missed 5 or 6 games last year, so obviously the numbers weren't quite as good. And then you had, like 3 years ago when he had the ankle and he only played 5 games that year, and so obviously his fantasy production was not very good. But in the other years that he was fully healthy with Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator, he was one of the best value fantasy picks that you could have, you know, that you could have had at the quarterback position. So all right, let's go. I'm gonna take a chance on this guy. And I'm going to go Juwan Johnson. It's a little early. And I know Okonkwo and Everett are still on the board, but in that league, I sent a trade for Burrow, trading away Dak and Aaron Jones away if they accept the trade. Yeah, that's a decent trade. If you can afford to get rid of Aaron Jones because you have a couple of good running backs already in place, I would. It's a no-brainer to send Dak and Aaron Jones to go get somebody like Burrow. And this might be your opportunity to get something like that because of the Burrow injury. If Burrow was fully healthy, the guy, you know, the owner of Burrow would never do that in a million years probably. But now that he's got like a little calf strain that people are overreacting to, and he's probably going to be completely fine, to be honest, and people are just overreacting to it, I would make that trade in a heartbeat if I was you, because this might be your chance to get somebody like Burrow. That's the only good thing that comes of some of these like little injuries and stuff during training camp, is that it opens up the doorways for a trade like that. If Burrow is completely healthy, had no calf injury, there's no chance of you getting that trade. But with the calf injury, that really isn't a big deal. He's going to be ready to play week 1. Jamar Chase has even come out and told people pretty much to pump the brakes on writing off the Bengals because of this. That just tells you the Burrow calf injury, it's not a big deal, but it's gonna put some people in panic, and they might be open to trading, say, like their Burrow away for something silly like a Dak and Aaron Jones. You know what I mean? You say you got Bijan? That's good. You got anybody else other than Bijan? Who else you got other than Aaron Jones and Bijan? This guy's went 3 tight ends in a row. That's crazy. There goes Taysom Hill. Tajay Spears, that's a good pick. I like Tajay Spears, man. That guy looks good. That guy looks pretty good if something happens to Henry. I think he'll be okay. This guy's got JJ, Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Mahomes, Javonte Montgomery, Antonio Gibson, Jamal Williams, Tajay Spears. Yeah. That person has JT and Kamara too. Yeah, they might take it then. They might take it. Hook, line, and sinker. They might take it. You check your other. You don't know your other running backs, bro? That means you probably got a lot of teams and you just don't know because you got so many teams. Oh gosh. Look at Ferguson. Ferguson goes so early now. People are like, see what I mean, dude? People are just running with like, I swear, dude. People, the fantasy football community overreacts to everything. It's so crazy. I mean, I like Ferguson, but like you used to be able to get Ferguson for like free down here around 17 or 18. Now he goes around 15, bro, because he had a decent preseason game. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy how overreactive everybody is. This guy just took another tight end. He's got 4 straight tight ends. What's going on? Dang. He's got James Cook, Pacheco, Najee Harris, and Eckler. Adams, Judy, Jason, Addison, Mooney. Cousin, I don't know. I don't really like that team. Hodgins. There goes Kareem Hunt. Gosh, man. You have Swift, Pacheco, Madison, Algier, and Charbonnet, and then you got Bijan. And you're talking about trading away Aaron Jones and Dak for Burrow. Yeah, I would do it, bro. I would do it. If you have those guys as your other running backs, I would do it. I think you can survive. I mean, obviously, I think Aaron Jones is probably better than all 5 of those guys, but... Did they take my guy, bro? They did take my guy. Of course they did. I do need another receiver. How many receivers? I got 5. Can I wait? I think so, man. I'm gonna wait on receiver. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna snag this guy because he's not gonna be there. Get myself a 3rd quarterback. I'm gonna take Sam Howell. Question: which football league is better and more quality, the Saudi league or the MLS league? I don't even know, bro. I don't I don't watch a whole lot of soccer, dude. I have no idea. I cannot tell you. I don't know. I don't know the first thing about soccer, bro. I don't know the first thing about it. I'm talking about American. This is American football. This is, you know, the NFL that we're doing here as far as fantasy goes. I have no idea about soccer. The only thing I know about soccer is whenever I watch like the FIFA World Cup or something, bro, or if it's like the Olympics. I don't ever watch. I don't watch the Premier League. I don't watch MLS. I don't watch any of that stuff unless it's like on ESPN on Sports Center or something. and it's like a highlight. Wendigo says my wide receivers are Diggs, Garrett Wilson, Hopkins, and Addison. Yeah, bro, you're set, bro, if you got that. Yeah. He says NFL flexing on him. Yeah, I know, dude. Bro, I like soccer to a degree. I enjoy to watch it every now and then, but I get sick and tired of the flopping, bro. I cannot stand it. It like pains me, bro. I mean, I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years, bro, and I obviously I've grown up watching football, so like all that soft shit, dude, about them like flop, I can't stand that shit. It bugs the heck out of me, bro, whenever I see it. These guys like, and like I don't even care that they flop, bro. Like LeBron flops, basketball players flop. You know, even an NFL player every now and then will flop to get like a penalty or something. You know what I mean? The problem with the soccer flopping is that these guys stay down for 10 minutes and then they're like, oh, we got to call the stretcher out when the guy like got his foot stepped on, and they're like bringing the stretcher out because the guy got his foot stepped on. Like, get the heck out of here, dude. It's so annoying. Like, it's funny whenever it happens the first few times, but when it happens over and over in a game, it's so like irritating, man. It's hard to watch. It's like, dude, I need some real, like, I need to watch a real sport where guys are getting their clocks cleaned, they're getting hit. Like, it's just, it's so unbearable to watch, man. Sometimes it's just unbearable to watch. I can't stand when a player goes down because of like a little bump, and then they bring the stretcher out like they got to stretch him off the field. Like, get the heck out of here. Get out of here with that. So corny, dude. It's so corny. Wendigo, you know what I'm talking about, bro. I know you've watched some soccer in your day, and you're like, this guy got love tapped, and the guy's bringing the stretcher out. Like, get out of here, bro. Anybody who's watched like soccer and like football, like NFL football, like if you've watched them both, you're like, you know, the soccer crap, it's blown so out of proportion. So I don't know, but I do like watching soccer every now and then. You know, it's a good sport to watch, and it's fun. You know, it takes a lot of skill for those guys to place the ball wherever they place it all the time and all that stuff, but at the same time, the injury crap and the faking and the flopping and stuff, it drives me nuts, dude. And it's rewarded by the ref, bro. Like, they could cut all the flopping out of soccer if the refs just wouldn't like give into it and call it and stuff, like, you know what I mean? I'll never understand it, I guess. I mean, I understand like you get knocked off your line and stuff like that, it is a foul because it affects, you know, whether or not you could have gotten to the ball. But for people to like go down and hit the ground, and then they sit on the ground for 5 minutes, and then they bring the stretcher out, and then they're like, okay, we don't need the stretcher, and then they take the stretcher off, and then the referee forces the player to go to the sidelines, and then like 2 seconds later they come back like nothing happened. Like, oh yeah, I'm completely fine. But like 2 minutes ago they were like screaming that they were like about to be like stretchered off the field. You know what I mean? It's just so corny. It's so freaking corny. Don't even get me started with the flopping in soccer, bro. I can't stand it. I like the MLB more than the NBA. Yeah, I used to like the NBA, bro. The NBA is... I still like the NBA, bro, but the problem with baseball... Hold on, let me make this pick real quick. I don't even know who I'm going to take, bro. I'm about to choke. I'm going to take Hardman, I guess, and then give me... God, who else am I going to take? I need another receiver. You know what, dude? Let's take Deuce Vaughn. We got Pollard. Let's take Deuce Vaughn just in case. Even though Malik Davis is the backup, I still think Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn's probably a better back. We'll just go 6 receivers, 6 running backs. What the heck? The problem with the NBA, bro, aside from the politics crap, and of course that's a lot of the, I think that's a lot of the sports nowadays, the politics are just, they need to just keep their politics out of everything. But, the other thing about the NBA I'm not really a fan of is the players teaming up. I don't like that crap. I think it's stupid. That's why I don't really feel bad for Jonathan Taylor and some of these guys in the NFL. The NFL has their policies and they have their collective bargaining agreement is much better than the NBA's, where like in the NBA, and you guys are seeing it right now, if you guys watch any of the NBA, like Harden's gonna force his way out of Philadelphia because of the owner, and you know, maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's not a good thing, but at the same time, bro, like with the NBA, if a player wants out of there, if a superstar wants out of their organization, they can get out like that. And the NFL, and of course the NFL is more of a team game than the NBA. The NBA, you can have a couple of good players and you can make a playoff run, you know what I mean? Like you can get a couple of superstars and then build around the two superstars, whereas the NFL, it's 11 on 11, and you need more than just a superstar running back and a superstar receiver. You need more than that. You need good offensive line, you need good quarterback play, you need a good defense. The NBA was so much better. I mean, I was born in 95, so I didn't get to see much of it in the 90s, but even in the early 2000s, I think it was much better than what it is now. The problem with I think like a lot of these sports, and the NFL is trending that way as well, and I get it, bro. I get that they're trying to appease fans, and which is, you know, it is what it is. It's a money-making business for, you know, sports entertainment, for the NFL, for the NBA, for MLB, but they're trying to appease the offense, and I don't like that. I don't like that they're turning everything into an offensive game, and they're, you know what I mean, like the defenses can't touch the quarterbacks anymore, or it's a 15-yard penalty. You know, you look at a guy wrong, it's pass interference in the NFL. Basketball is the same way. You can't touch a guy, or it's a foul. That's why you're seeing high-scoring games in the NBA and in NFL. They're basically just phasing defense out, bro. I swear. You look at the Super Bowl last year. My Chiefs, the Eagles, 38-35, high-scoring game. I get people want to see scoring in that, bro. Like, I get that. I like to see scoring too. But at the same time, you gotta let defenses play as well. They get paid to play as well, and you know, they have a particular set of skills to play on the defensive side of the ball as well. And so I just find it frustrating, is like, because I played defense in high school. I played on the defensive side of the ball. I didn't play football for very long, but I did play on the defensive side of the ball, and you know, I thought defense was fun, but it's like I couldn't even imagine playing now, like in high school or even college or something, where you can't even touch a guy. You know, you touch a guy and it's like it's a penalty. It's like, what the heck, dude? I don't know. But the reason why the rules are in place for the quarterbacks and stuff like that is because the quarterbacks are a huge part of the offense, and if the quarterbacks get hurt, then the teams aren't going to be as good, and that's going to hurt the business of the NFL, because people aren't going to want to watch football when it's 20-17 at the end of the game, you know what I mean, or 17-14 type of games. So that's why the rules that they have in place for the quarterbacks are in place. And then with basketball, it's the same way, dude. So really, what's killing basketball, and what kind of did kill basketball from being the game that it was back when like Jordan played, was the 3-point ball, dude. Was really Steph Curry. Steph Curry kind of broke the NBA. Like Steph Curry, and then if you think about all the power forwards and centers that can shoot from outside the arc, that's what's broken the NBA kind of, as far as like what it used to be. You don't see guys taking mid-range jumpers anymore like the way Jordan and Kobe did it back in the day. That's an irrelevant shot nowadays. Nowadays, you're supposed to, you know, the numbers and the metrics will tell you to take more threes if you were like a GM or a coach in the league. And so that's why the league is the way it is now. So it's more high scoring. There's more, you know, the rules benefit the offensive player more than it does the defensive player now. Whereas like you used to be able to hand check guys back in the day. Somebody like Gary Payton, who was like, you know, one of the best defensive players to ever play basketball. I'm not saying he couldn't play in today's NBA. He obviously could, but it would be a little different, man. He would get called for so many fouls nowadays. So, he would have to adjust his game. The game is just different. So, that's what I'll say about when it comes to like sports nowadays. And baseball is kind of the same way too. They get the pitch, you know, the pitch clock. They're trying to do everything they can to make sure a pitcher's not using like sweat and rosin or anything to put on the ball to be able to strike hitters out. They're trying to change the game in baseball too, to where like there's more offense. So, and I don't know how I really feel about the pitch. I don't really watch a whole lot of baseball. I think the problem with baseball is that the season's too long. In my opinion, they need to cut the games down, but you can't. You know why you can't do that though? Because it's been like that for so many years. That's why I think the pitch clock is a little weird. It's a little like, I don't know. I understand why a lot of the players don't like it, because the game hasn't been like the game has been a certain way for so long, and then out of nowhere, after 100+ years of the game being around, you change a rule like that, and it affects everything. And I understand why they, especially like the pitchers, don't like it. So, anyways, well, that's gonna do it for me, guys. It's almost 4:30. It's coming up on 4:30. I have to get to the gym. Probably will not go live tonight. We might go live tomorrow if we get some more news. Let me double check the news real quick, make sure nothing new has come out that we need to talk about. Doesn't look like it, so I do need to update my ticker on the bottom. That's why we just have the Underdog Fantasy ticker on the bottom going. I'll have my rankings. I'm gonna make another, like, a new rankings. I'm gonna have like a rankings like on the side, of the screen over here, and it's gonna be like a little slideshow, and it's gonna fluctuate between like top 10 players for positions and stuff like that. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build that probably over the weekend and get it figured out, get it put onto the stream and stuff. But if you guys have any questions, just go into like my latest video or the latest stream like this one, send me a question in the YouTube comments. I will answer it that way. If you guys need a question answered like between now and tomorrow and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and leave a like on the video. It helps me get my videos out there across the the YouTube algorithm. And then also subscribe if you are a new member or if you're a new viewer to the channel. I would really appreciate that. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, trying to be able to monetize some of my stuff. I pretty much just do this as a side gig right now, and it's going to be that way until I get any of my content monetized and stuff like that. So we'll try to get some videos out to you guys, or a video maybe this weekend. It depends on how much time I have. I am jam-packed with between doing this, work, going to the gym, doing other stuff around the house, that I have to do. I have a busy schedule, man. That's why I don't go live every day. If I could go live every day, dude, I would love to, but I just don't have time, man. Not with work and everything else. So I will catch you guys tomorrow, though. I got to get out of here. I got to go to the gym. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comment section of one of my videos. So you guys have a good one. I'm out of here. Peace out. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. See you later, Wendigo. Catch you tomorrow. I believe they got a football game tonight too as well. If you guys have NFL Network, I believe the Browns are playing tonight, so we'll talk about that tomorrow too. If there's anything significant that comes of that game. I believe it is it's the Browns and the Eagles, so I don't know what the spread is. Let's see what the spread is real quick. Spread's Eagles -4. I would probably play the Browns +4 if I was betting on it. That would be my pick.